Right now, the investigation begins into why a Valley home went up in flames when nobody was inside.
And the search for a killer, 2 people left dead because of a hit-and-run crash. The clues that police are now working with to try to track down that driver.
Change in plans. Immigration raids that were supposed to begin over the weekend might not be happening at all. Coming up, we'll explain why.
And we say good morning to you on this Monday. It's been hard to keep our eyes off of Amazon Prime Day. You know, it's strictly for you, though. This is work. We're working to help you get better deals. Wink, wink. We've got Chelsea Davis really covering that for you.
She's the only one who's officially allowed to really check Amazon Prime deals at work. Because that's her job.
Exactly. Hey, I'm Kaylee O'Kelly. We are here with Mark Thompson. Nick is off this morning. We're thrilled that you're waking up with us. I think it would be safe to say that it was a sweaty weekend around here, and dangerously so in some cases, Iris.
Yeah, it was a really hot weekend.
Yes.
It was one of those weekends where, I don't know about you, but all my blinds were closed, the AC was on, I was just sitting there trying to stay cool because it was too hot to venture outside. And you know, these next couple of days, they're going to be even worse as our temperatures start to get above 110 again. Yesterday, we hit a high of 109. We're in weather action mode now as our temperature today will approach 113 degrees. An excessive heat warning in effect at 10 a.m. and it will remain in effect through tomorrow. The afternoons will be very hot, above 110, and those morning temperatures not providing a lot of relief either. We've got clear skies now. Our temperature in the 80s will be heating up into those temperatures above 110 this afternoon. In fact, as you notice, we'll be back into the 90s by 7 a.m., then into the hundreds well before lunchtime today. I think by around 10 to 11 we'll see those triple digits before that high of 113 degrees. Tomorrow looks a little hotter, up to 114. We'll talk about whether we're going to get any relief from monsoon storms anytime soon in just a few minutes. But good morning to you, Chelsea. Cranking up that AC, certainly on the drive home, but maybe even this morning.
I did this morning. Guilty as charged. I'm sure I'm not the only one either. Looking at our maps right now, major improvement for I-10 if you're traveling eastbound from 67th Avenue all the way in through the stack. We're traveling 30 to 50 miles per hour, much better than under 20, what it was about 10 minutes ago. The crash is in the clearing stages. I-10 eastbound east of 35th Avenue, right near the stack, off to the side. So you don't really need an alternate. Just give yourself about 10 to 15 extra minutes and you'll be good to go. Up north, I-17 all clear. Carefree Highway, Loop 303 looking good. East Valley, all green conditions right now, but just reminding you, over the weekend we had closures on Loop 202 Santan eastbound at Power Road. That's going to happen again through the 18th this week in the overnight hours.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. New for you this morning, investigators are trying to figure out why a house went up in flames overnight. Our crews on scene as flames were shooting through the roof near Scottsdale Road and McKellips. Fire crews were able to go offensive immediately and quickly get that under control. A large hole does remain in the roof of that home, and fire crews are telling us that nobody was inside that home when the fire broke out. Well, right now, police are working around the clock to find a hit-and-run driver responsible for killing 2 people.
Yeah, each victim killed in a separate crash, the driver leaving the vehicle and then taking off on foot. Nohelani Graff is live near 43rd Avenue in Osborne. So, Nohe, I'm understanding that we don't really know much about the driver this morning.
No, Mark, police haven't given us a suspect description yet, but we do know that they have one very big clue, and that's the car that he was driving. And that is the piece of evidence that the family is hoping will lead to justice. In the meantime, they're trying to find a way to cope. So they've set up this small memorial here along 43rd Avenue as a way to come together to start the grieving process for Nestor Lopez. Police say the suspect was ripping down 43rd Avenue on Saturday night, and Lopez was walking across the street. His family says he was going out to get ice cream, and that's when the driver hit him and just kept going. And then 2 blocks down the road, that person would end up crashing into a car, killing that driver, 28-year-old Edgar Lopez. No relation to the first victim. No stopping to help either victim. The suspect just at that point left their car and ran off. Nestor, meantime, was just 17 years old, and his mother is now dealing with crippling grief and anger.
And a coward because he can't turn himself in. Like, you killed a 17-year-old boy. He had a whole life ahead of him. His birthday is next month. His 18th birthday.
So what we do know about the suspect's car is that it was older. It's a 1997 Lincoln Town Car. And so what police are asking for now is if anyone was in this area of 43rd Avenue and Osborne on Saturday night, maybe saw that town car ripping down the street, or if you saw anything in the aftermath or happen to know who that driver is, they are asking for your help. And remember, you can remain anonymous by calling Silent Witness. Guys, that number, 480-WITNESS.
All right, no, hey, thank you. Just a disturbing case all the way around, especially for those families. Well, today, the Phoenix Police Department will move a step closer to equipping all of its officers with body cameras. This is video from earlier this month when the Cactus Park Precinct received their cameras. This afternoon, the Central City Precinct will get theirs. After this, there will be just 2 precincts left to receive their body cameras.
It is 6:05. President Trump promising a wave of federal raids.
Yeah, that's right. And the White House claiming that ICE agents would be rounding up and deporting what the president calls, quote, undocumented criminals.
Our John Genovese is live downtown this morning, and so far, John, there does not appear to be a large-scale operation underway.
Yeah, and Kaylee, Phoenix was never on the list of the 9 cities where these immigration raids were supposed to begin over the weekend. But local officials in cities where they were, like Los Angeles and New York, say they've seen no sign of any increased enforcement. This was all meant to target people who had just recently come to the U.S., but these plans alone have prompted demonstrations and protests across the country, including right here in the Valley. On Friday night, 16 people were arrested in downtown Phoenix after many of them sat on a section of the light rail track and delayed the trains from operating. Now, that march evolved from a vigil that took place at a nearby church. The people arrested spent the night in jail, and some of them had their charges dismissed on Saturday morning. One activist told us to expect more of these demonstrations if these raids are carried out and if conditions don't change at immigrant detention facilities.
I think we created a good space where activists felt empowered to share their stories of migration and also empower each other to continue the fight for children and families separated along the border.
And there was no timeline given for when these raids would happen, just that they would begin yesterday. And it's still unclear this morning if they were simply delayed or called off completely. For now, reporting live, John Genovese, ABC15, Arizona.
As, of course, we continue to watch our very warm temperatures and our hot weather here in the Valley. A warm start to the day. We're going to talk more about that heat in just a little bit. But that threat from Tropical Depression Barry, it's not over yet this morning. The storm will continue to cause significant flooding in the south for the next couple of days. Roads, they have been washed out. Just look at these images there. Thousands without power this morning, and rescue teams, they've been working around the clock. People along the Gulf Coast have been stacking sandbags, too, as the water rises. There is some good news, though. Early predictions for river crests are being lowered. In a couple of hours, a Red Cross volunteer and several volunteers from the Valley will be heading to help out those impacted by Tropical Storm Barry, what once was Tropical Storm Barry. Ron Scott has been volunteering for more than 5 years, and this will be his 9th deployment. Scott typically drives the emergency response vehicle delivering meals and supplies, but he's cross-trained in a variety of skills to be able to help wherever he is needed.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Iris. Smart shoppers, today is the day we've been waiting for, Amazon Prime Day, and it's actually 2 days of sales. So here are some of the best deals that we are seeing right now. You can score 42% off a 43-inch Toshiba 4K Ultra HD Smart LED TV. That was a tongue twister, but big savings. Amazon Echo is now $49.99. That is 50% off. You can save almost $75 on a 6-quart Instapot Duo. Plus, it's just $55.99 right now. You can also get a Ring video doorbell for $140. And finally, that Ancestry DNA kit for 49 buckaroos. That is the best price since last Black Friday, just to put it into perspective. And in order to compete with Prime Day, a lot of big retailers in town are slashing their prices for the next 2 days as well. So I'm going to go over some of those discounts coming up in the next half hour. And don't forget, on our site, I have links for you that can actually price compare to make sure that that good deal is actually saving you cash right now, Kaylee.
Thank you for doing the hard work for us, Chelsea. We appreciate it. Here at 609, Mountain Park Health Center is going to be handing out 5,000 backpacks over the next few weeks. Starting today, any child who comes in for a no no or low-cost physical will get a backpack. There are 7 clinics across the valley. You do have until August 23rd to get one of those backpacks.
At 6:09, most of the valley in the upper 80s, even at 90 degrees in Glendale. A warm start to what is going to be another scorcher. Today, a heat alert. I'll break down your hour-by-hour temperatures next.
And coming up next on ABC15 Mornings, real news versus fake news, the new tool designed to help you figure out the truth.
And then the power of social media. 500,000 people are claiming they are ready to storm Area 51. Maybe you saw this on social media over the weekend.
Yeah, but what would happen if they actually did show up? I think the government has something to say about that. It is 6:12 on your Monday morning. This just in, the Trump administration announcing plans to end asylum protections for migrants coming from most Central American countries. Now, according to this new rule, migrants are barred from seeking asylum in the U.S. if they travel through another country first. Central American migrants often pass through Mexico in order to reach the United States. Many of these families try to claim asylum status. The rule is likely to face a legal challenge.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our accident law group traffic maps. If you're traveling from the west side, we're looking at breaks beginning around 75th Avenue. They stay steady eastbound through the stack into about 7th Street. Then it lightens up for you before you get to the mini stack this morning. I-17 approaching the stack, looking a lot better as you're making your way not only approaching the stack, but then around the Durango curve to the split. State Route 51 near the mini stack also showing green conditions. East Valley, US 60, 202 Red Mountain, and Santan. Also, no slowdowns whatsoever in the North Valley, I-17. Loop 303 Carefree Highway looking good as well. Right now, the only issue that we had was on I-10 as you're traveling in the eastbound direction, getting closer to 35th Avenue. That crash is in the clearing stages. I-17 normal brakes, US 60 smooth sailing, as I mentioned, from Val Vista as you travel westbound, getting closer to the I-10 interchange.
Well, let's talk about your most accurate forecast here this morning. It is a warm start as you get ready to step outside. Clear skies looking live with our South Mountain camera with our temperature this morning only down to 89 degrees. And that's at Phoenix Sky Harbor. You saw just a little bit ago that Glendale is still at around 90. So a very warm start to what is going to be a very hot, dangerously hot afternoon. Temperatures will be climbing really quickly too. By lunchtime, we're up to 107. By 2 o'clock, already topping 110 at 111 degrees. Just to give you some perspective, yesterday really hot, but we hit a high of 109. So we managed to stay below 110. We won't see that today. Today, our high 113 degrees, and we are officially under an excessive heat warning starting at 10 o'clock here this morning. And this time, this heat alert includes some of our foothills locations too, like Fountain Hills and Apache Junction, Queen Creek, the Santan Valley, and areas all to our south under that same excessive heat warning today and tomorrow. Also, spots around Safford, some of those lower elevations under that heat alert, and even Yavapai County. Remember, this area wasn't under that alert last week, but today and tomorrow they will be. So again, it's those lower elevations across Yavapai County and even the lower elevations of the Grand Canyon too. Phantom Ranch under that excessive heat warning today and also tomorrow, because those high temperatures will end up near 110 degrees in those spots. So dangerous heat, especially if you're not being careful by remembering those heat safety tips like hydrating and maybe avoiding the outdoors and those strenuous outdoor activities by the afternoon. Our high today, 113 degrees in Phoenix. We'll reach 111 in Casa Grande, triple digits for Sedona, 116 today out in Bullhead City. Across the Phoenix area, expect those temperatures above 110 pretty much everywhere, with the exception of Cave Creek, where we'll still be very hot at 108, 113 in Mesa and in Ahwatukee and Peoria. Also hitting 113 degrees today. Now, yesterday we saw some storms in the mountains. This morning, those storms clearing out. We've got a few high clouds in eastern and southeastern Arizona. Today, some drier air is starting to move in. High pressure still in control. That's bringing the heat. But that dry air will push in over the next couple of days as we track a storm system to our northwest. And that dry air will limit storm development. So today's storm chances, primarily the eastern rim, White Mountains, and in southeast Arizona. Tomorrow, it's mainly far southeast Arizona that has a chance for thunderstorms. So for the valley, we're still not seeing good monsoon storm chances, but we will get a bit of a boost in moisture by the middle of the week, and that will drop our temperatures below 110. Any drop counts, right? Starting Wednesday and through the weekend.
All right, Iris, thank you for that. 6:17 now. Real or fake? It's happened to all of us. You see a headline on social media, not really quite sure if you can trust it. Well, some experts are weighing in this morning, chatting with our Nick Soletti, and they have a new weapon in their arsenal.
Scrolling through social media, you see them. Web articles, news headlines, clickbait. What's real and what's fake? Sonia Gavankar with the Freedom Forum says it starts with knowing your First Amendment rights.
This year, we're actually hearing and finding that the public is more engaged and more knowledgeable about the First Amendment than ever before.
And as more and more consumers are becoming educated about fake news, Sonia says they're taking matters into their own hands.
The good thing about people being more engaged is that they're also looking for tools to be their own fact checkers.
One of those tools, the Nutrition app. It helps you sort through the fake stuff and the real stuff. Each source comes with a nutrition label that gives you information about background, sources, fact-checking, and any potential bias. But Sonia says it is still up to consumers to do their own detective work.
The best way to figure out what is real and what is fake is to have your own barometer as a consumer. Knowing the news sources that you listen to, having varied news sources, just looking at a wide variety of political spectrum is really important. And sharing and talking to your friends in your community. That will help you get a good idea of what is true and what could be, in fact, fake news.
So the Nutrition app is available for the iPhone and iPad, as well as your PC. And the best part here, it is totally free.
Well, here's something that you've probably seen circulating around on social media right now. It's a Facebook event with more than 800,000 people signed up for it, and they are pledging to storm Area 51 in September.
Yeah, the group is growing exponentially here. The Air Force, though, is issuing a very strong warning to any potential trespassers. A spokesperson saying Area 51 is an open training range for the U.S. Air Force, and we discourage anyone from trying to come into the area where we train American armed forces.
Yeah, obviously, and the mysterious Area 51 in Nevada has been the subject for a lot of conspiracy theorists for decades now. Many believe that the U.S. stores its secrets about UFOs and aliens at that military site. I mean, but they tipped off their hand in this whole event, announcing when they're coming.
Yeah, interesting for sure. Hey, another moment that may have flooded your social media feed for the weekend. How about this? Royalty meeting royalty. Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan coming face to face with Beyonce and Jay-Z at the UK premiere of the new Lion King movie.
Yeah, the cast and crew debuting the film in London on Sunday. Disney's The Lion King officially hits theaters on Friday.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. For kids who have never seen the cartoon version, they have no idea what they're missing, right?
It was on last night. Yeah.
So good.
Yes.
Well, last
I like
month,
the play.
yeah, it's so good. Last month, Four Peaks Brewing Company put on a fundraiser teaming up with Treasures for Teachers, and now it's time to pick up those kits that are full of free classroom supplies. You have already needed to pick up a voucher. Then you can go through and pick up the actual boxes with the supplies today through Wednesday. You were given a specific date, time, and location to return to pick up those boxes. Now, if you're unable to make it by Wednesday, you can head over to Four Peaks 8th Street Brewery from 2 to 6 on Friday. From then on, any unclaimed boxes will be donated to Back to School Bounty and will be delivered to schools all across Arizona, Kaylee.
Thank you for the tip on that. Hey, for a lot of us, we just need a little caffeine to kickstart our day, but which is better for you? Is it hot coffee or the cold brew?
Christmas in July, it's Amazon Prime Day for online shoppers, but it's for scammers alike, and they're looking forward to this event to steal your money.
Your time check, 6:24. If you are stepping out soon, it is 89 degrees in Phoenix, and it's still feeling a little bit humid out there. Our dew point still in the low 60s, but those dew points will actually be dropping in the next few days. Not necessarily what we want to see when we are hoping for monsoon storm chances, right? But we are going to get some drier air in here, so you can expect lower humidity in the next few days and very hot temperatures. Today, a high of 113 degrees, so we're back in weather action mode and excessive heat warning in effect at 10 a.m. And notice tomorrow that forecast high 114 degrees. Today and tomorrow will be the hottest days of the week. We're also going to get some hot breezes in the mix too, starting tomorrow especially. So not the most comfortable days at all to be outdoors. We'll hit 100 today by 10 a.m. so earlier. So keep that in mind as you're making those plans. We'll eventually be up to 113 degrees this afternoon, 114 tomorrow. But we do drop below 110 and Wednesday. And look at next Sunday. I think that's something to look forward to. A high of 105. We'll talk about why those temperatures are dropping further in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's talk about coffee, because your morning cup of joe can be good for you. It is rich in antioxidants, which are helpful in reducing risks for some diseases. But if you're opting for a cold brew during our hot summer months, are you getting the same health benefits?
This is actually brewed without hot water. Takes longer, and it has a little less acidity and a little less antioxidants. When I say a little, it's about 50% less antioxidants.
Okay, well, doctors say if you like your coffee cold, but you do want to keep those antioxidants, just make your regular hot coffee and then have it over ice. If your drink is full of cream, sugar, syrups, and the whipped cream, well, we don't have to tell you, you already know that it does cancel those health benefits. It does taste good, though. She is a breast cancer warrior, to say the very least, running a nonprofit to help other survivors.
But Reba Mason from Surprise recently needed some help of her own. Mason left an appointment Tuesday after having the pain medication changed in her implanted pump, but the medicine was leaking into her body, causing her to overdose and then go into cardiac arrest in the middle of the Macy's at Arrowhead Mall.
Several store employees moved fast. They jumped into action, starting CPR for 10 minutes until paramedics could get there.
Not enough gratitude in the world to tell them how thankful I am for them and how grateful.
Peoria Fire Department is saying the workers definitely saved her life, and they plan to honor them at a ceremony this week.
Yeah, it's fantastic. She does so much for others. Good somebody did something for her.
Yes.
Well, up next at 6:30, scammers going to church for all the wrong reasons. New this morning, Joe lets you know how to recognize whether or not your church is a target.
Then he says he's sorry, but is that enough? The CEO of the best-selling e-cigarette in the nation apologizes to parents for getting their kids addicted to vaping.